It's really difficult to teach kids about money, how to handle it, how to interact. Is it healthy? Is it unhealthy? When I grew up, it was about balancing a checkbook, which I hated. I thought that was, brutal to try to figure out how much money did we have in the account to start and what went all out. And my dad was a Mad Max to the penny kind of guy. So he wanted that right and tight. So as a dad with my kids, I've put some very simple things in place. The first thing is they all have an app which called Greenlight. I don't have anything to do with Greenlight, so this isn't a plug, for that service. But the app is really strong because we can kind of track chores for them. If they get them done, they can get their monthly allowance or their weekly allowance. And then we can break it up from there to spend, save, give, and create some categories so that, in a very small at a very small scale, they're able to just kind of see money coming in, where it should be going, and then understanding, hey, I've tucked some of this away to save, and I have some of this available to spend. That card links right to their iPhone so they can use Apple Pay and spend their money. And so it starts to break them out of, well, I'm just going to spend mom and dad's money as much as I can, which that still happens, right? Let's be realistic. But we can encourage them to think about, well, the value of money, right? You're at a basketball game at the high school with your friends and you want to hit the vending machine for 5 or 10 bucks. Well, you're going to think a little bit more about that if you're spending your own money than just, again, whacking mom and dad's card. So that's been a big part of it. And then just starting to think about investing, right? And I think that, my kids are relatively young. And so ultimately, it's like, well, we can sit a bunch of this cash just in cash, but what if we invested it? And really at a small scale and a young age, just starting to think, could we do better because we don't need this money today? And I think that's something that, kids can start to experience. Again, we're not talking huge chunks of money, but as they see it and track it, it's not overly complicated, but they can start to understand the value of investing and break apart savings from investing and break the risk apart in their minds, which I think is very valuable. And it really just sets the foundation moving forward for that type of relationship.